This is video number 37 for cello players, and in this video you're going to learn how to play number 44 and 45 in your Essential Elements book. So have your book open to page number 15, and we are going to do a little bit of echoing, but only echoing that kind of pertains to the song that you're going to be playing. So 44, the book has finally decided to teach you what a key signature is. You guys already know what a key signature is, so we're already set on that. We don't have to review that. What we're going to talk a lot about in these two videos is patterns in music and things that learning patterns and recognizing patterns will help you learn a song more quickly, okay? And there are patterns in your music all the time. So look at measure 1 and 2. This shouldn't really be that difficult. Let's just try measure 1 and 2. It really isn't going to be that hard. Try measure 1 and 2 at 44. You're starting with high D, echo me this time. Now notice the sharp sign has gone away from the front of the C sharp. Why is that? Because it's in the key signature. It doesn't need to be there anymore. But that is the third note is still a C sharp. Okay? Measure 1 and 2. Echo me high D, C sharp, high D, open A and go. High D, now C sharp, back to high D, open A. Now look at measure 3 and 4. Measure 3 is just like measure 1. That can be easy, but it can make measure 4 tricky. You expect it to do the same thing, and it just doesn't. Play just measure 4. Just measure 4. High D, B, then open A, echo me, high D, B, A. High D, B, A, and ready, go. High D, B, A. Now do 3 and 4. High D, C sharp, high D, B, A, and now go. High D, C sharp, high D. Now B, B, A. Now, if you are still struggling with that, pause the video now and practice that. I would not play, if you're messing up only in measure 4, yeah, try just measure 4 several times, but I bet you it's going from 3 to 4. So do 3 and 4 over and over. Okay, now that you've gotten line 1, look at line 2. I want you to notice there's a pattern here. Look at measure, we're just looking at line 2. Look at the first 2 notes of the measure and the last note of the measure. Now look at measure 2 of the second line, the first 2 notes and the last. Look at measure 3, the first 2 notes and the last. If you've noticed, they're all the same within each measure. So the first 2 notes and the last note of measure 1 is a G. We're on line 2. The first 2 notes and the last note of measure 2 is a G. I'm sorry, an F sharp. And then in measure 3, it's an E. So it does almost the same thing, G, F sharp, and E. So you see the pattern. It goes G, G, goes up 1 note, A, back to G. And then it does the same thing 1 note lower. F sharp, up 1 note, G, F sharp. Now this is where you could mess up. E, E, all the way up to A, and then open E. It's a variation on the pattern. And then the last measure, open D. Okay, do measure 1 of the second line, echo me. Make a tunnel, G, G, A, G, go. G, G, A, G. Now measure 2. Same thing, actually going to be easier because you don't have to switch strings. F sharp and G. F, echo me, F sharp, G, F sharp, go. F sharp, G, F sharp. Now E, make a tunnel, E, E, A, E, go. E, E, A, E. We're not going to bother with that last measure, there's no point, but let's do the whole second line together. Second line, G finger down, make a tunnel, ready, and go. G, G, A, G. Now F sharp, G, F sharp, E, make another tunnel. Now A, E, now open D, 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 okay? At this point, I want you to pause the video and play line 2 until you can do it without stopping, because our next thing is to play it with the recording. All right, if you think you're ready, go ahead and play with us on number 44 with the recording. From the very beginning, we're doing the whole thing. High D finger down.
44, Matthew's March.
Remember your patterns on line 2. 1, 2, ready, and go. High D, C sharp, high D. Now open A, back to high D, C sharp, here's tricky, high D. Now B, sharp, G, E, make a tunnel, D. Okay? Pause and practice that as much as you need to. This one is going to take a little bit longer, I would say, even than Jingle Bells did for most of you. I'm going to say it's going to take you about 4 days to learn it, practicing it every day. Remember, you practice not just till we get it right, you practice till you can't get it wrong. Now go on to 45. In some ways, I believe 45 is easier because like almost the entire song is a pattern. Now it's a 2-measure pattern. What makes this maybe a little harder is the skipping of the notes. But again, if you did all that echoing with me and you got your agility built up, you're going to be fine on this. You're going to be able to do this. So look at measure 1 and 2. It goes from D to F sharp. We've practiced that many times. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. And then it goes a little scale, E, F sharp, G. Now look at the next 2 measures. It does the same thing, starting 1 note higher. E, skip to G, E, skip to G. Go back to the note that you skipped, F sharp, and go up a scale, G, A. So look at that pattern again. Look at measure 1. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. Go to the note you skipped. E, go up a scale, F sharp, G. Now measure 3. E, G. Back to the note you skipped. F sharp, up a scale, G, A. Measure 1 into the second line. Still within the pattern. Make a tunnel though. F sharp, A, then G, the note you skipped, A, B. That one's going to be the tricky one. The pattern's not different. The pattern's the same. Why is it tricky? Because you're crossing strings. And the last 2 measures are kind of their own thing. So they're not that difficult though. Okay, it's not that difficult. Let's play measure 1 and 2. Echo me. Measure 1 and 2. D, skip to F sharp. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. Now you go to E and right, say, and go. D, skip to F sharp. D, skip to F sharp, back to E. E, F sharp, G. If you didn't get that, pause this until you get it. Now we're going on to measure 3 and 4. E, skip to G, back and forth, and then go to the F sharp. E to G, echo me. Then F sharp, up a scale. And right till you go. E, G, back to F sharp, G, A. Now if you find that this tempo right here is way too fast for you, I would suggest just practicing on your own and coming back to the video and still doing 2 measures at a time rather than immediately going to E, E, I and slowing the tempo. You could try that. What I would suggest is maybe using a metronome and slowing the tempo, okay? Because this one is best learned in 2-measure parts, okay? And the E, E, I is not going to stop for you like I'm doing. So slow, speed it up until you're fast enough to play with me. Now do measure 1 and 2 of the second line. Make a tunnel, echo me, F sharp to A, F sharp, A, make a tunnel, then back to G, A, B. And right till you go. F sharp, A, F sharp, A, back to G, A, B. Okay? Pause and practice till you get that. And just try the last 2 measures. There's no real trick or pattern in this, but it's not difficult. Last 2 measures. Echo me, A, B, A, then up a scale, C sharp, high D, and go. A, B, C sharp, high D. Okay? What I would recommend that you do now is try 2 measures at a time, put it together, and then come back and join us with number 45, the whole thing without stopping. Okay? 45.
45. Christopher's tune.
Fingers hovered above the D string. 1, 2, right, say, and go. D, F sharp, D, F sharp. Now E, F sharp, G. Now E and G, G, E, G to F sharp, G. Make a tunnel, and F sharp to A. Tunnel it, tunnel, F sharp, A. Now G. Keep going. A, B, C sharp. Okay, so there are no shortcuts to this other than practicing. There are things such as learning patterns. They're going to help you learn this more quickly. Remember, find the patterns, practice it within patterns. So on 44, the pattern was a 1-measure pattern. On the second line, practice 1 measure at a time, then put it together. In number 45, almost the whole thing was a pattern, but it was a 2-measure phrase pattern. Do those 2 measures, get it, do the next 2, and then put it together. Do chunks and then put it together, and you will get this. Keep practicing.